Okay, I'm not a good kind of person, clearly. So, okay, on the knees, toes tucked under, shoulders over the wrist so that it's in line, okay? Shoulders pushed up, so it should be more rounded out in your upper back. Hips tucked under, so remember we're not arching, we're tucked under, okay? So now, when we shift over, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a slight shift over to the side that you're going to keep. So automatically I felt when she shifted over, her shoulder blade like pushed out a little bit. So push up through that shoulder, yes. So keep pushing up through that shoulder. The moment it collapses, that means you're gonna compromise that form. So shift over now, so hold that, stabilize, keep that core strong. And I just want you to lift this hand and touch that shoulder without moving anything else. And then back down. Good. So when you're doing the shoulder taps, just shift over to this side. Push up through the shoulder. Good. Lift off and tap. Good. Shift over. Push up through the shoulder and tap. Good. So also when you're shifting over, making sure that the hips are staying neutral, and just take this whole thing with me. So your hips stay neutral. So shift over, Olivia, and touch. There we go. So it's the hips are moving, and shift over again, but they're not dropping. You see her hips are not dropping, shifting down to the ground, right? So these are the on the knees plank shoulder taps. So do one side and one side each for 30 seconds. Now the next one, we're gonna go into forward reaches. So this time you're not shifting side to side. We're now stabilizing and then reaching forward. So when you're stabilizing, shifting over, because you're bringing your hand into the midline. So it's kind of tricky with the brain. So when you shift over just slightly, you're gonna have a forward reach, okay? So on your knees, toes tucked under, hips tucked under, shoulder blades pushed up, in line, everything's in line. So do a slight shift over to the other side, and now do a forward reach just to there. Good. Did you notice that was a little bit different than the shoulder taps? Yeah. So if you're releasing one arm, but what it does makes a difference because everything's connected. So it makes a difference. So shift over. Good. Push up through the shoulder and reach forward. Good. One other thing, so Olivia, separate your legs a little bit wider so you have a wider base. Now try that again and tell me if you feel a difference. Shift over and reach. Do you feel more stable or more stable? Okay, and that's a really good point to have as well. So if you're more narrow, you're going to shift more. But if you have a stronger base, so separating the legs just so that it's kind of like a tripod effect, right? Okay, third one, high plank, leg taps. So in the same position, yeah, shake it. I'm gonna need a rest on that. The third one, we're gonna be in a high plank and we're gonna do leg side taps. So high plank off the knees, okay? So up in a high plank. So again, wrists are under the shoulders, shoulders pushed up, core on, hips tucked under. And if you have a wider base, go ahead, wider base, separate the legs. There you go. Not a lot. You're gonna have more stability. So now you're gonna tap this leg over to here. So tap, good. And then other one, tap over. So keep staying core on, yep. So as you're stabilizing through the hips, you're stabilizing through the shoulder. See when she taps, yep. So her hips are staying neutral. It's not dropping, her hips are not dropping side to side. They're shifting, which is good, but not dropping, okay? So that's really important with this movement. that nothing else moves other than your legs. Okay, come down, good. All right, next one is a dead bug position, and this time we'll face this way, so lay on your back this way. Good. So scooch down a little bit more, good, right there. So arms up into a dead bug position, so knees up, toes tucked, yeah. So you want to make sure your heels are up, and now we're at 90 degrees here, right? So you don't want to be too pulled in. See, now we want to be 90 degrees at the hip too. So up and down, and the toes are flexed. You can't see it in the video. And then the arms are up, reaching towards the sky, hips tucked under. So make sure that there's minimal space underneath. And that automatically fires up that core. I can feel her abs just in this position. So we're gonna alternate. So we're gonna stabilize through the core, stabilize through the hips, but we're also stabilizing the system. So when you're dropping that arm, that this arm isn't reaching forward. And it's an automatic thing for us to want to do. So make sure this stays here and the opposite leg stays there, okay? So when you're dropping that arm, that shoulder, let's feel it on this side, that shoulder isn't gonna flare up the ribs. So your arch isn't gonna back up. You're gonna keep the ribs tucked down, the hips tucked under. And so when you're moving that arm like that, everything else stays still. So you're stabilizing. So now you're gonna alternate. Left arm goes down, right leg goes down. So extend that out and then pull it in. And then the other side. Drop those two, see, yeah, stabilize that there, good. Pull it in at the same time. You want to pull in at the exact same time. So up, and then these two drop and pull in, good. Now, these two drop, these stay, good, pull in. So remember, however far you can go, even if it's a small movement, just to say there, and pull in, that's okay. Stay where you're strong, okay? All right. Next move, you're on all fours. We're gonna stay facing this way. So get into like a doggy position. So this is what we call a bear position. So remember, hips tucked under, core strong, shoulders pushed up. So this is gonna cause that strength through the shoulders so that there's no impingements in the shoulders, no shoulder aggravation, okay? So separate your knees. Yeah, so wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, okay? So in this position, it's gonna be similar to the dead bug. We're gonna alternate, so when you lift off one arm, lift up, we're not shifting. So we have more stabilization when we're in this positions versus the plank position. And then drop down. So now with that, so you're gonna alternate the left, so same as the dead bug, okay? So you're gonna alternate right arm and left leg comes up, okay? So you're gonna extend this leg back and this arm up. Yeah, good job. So let's do that side one more time. So up, stabilize, good, pull in. Other side, so these two go up, stabilize through the. All right, so I noticed an imbalance. If you feel that was weaker, look at your hand position. It's not directly under your shoulder, which could make the big difference. So remember, strong through here when you lift up. So stabilize that shoulder. Keep that core turned on. Now lift. Better. Did that feel a little bit better? Still a little bit wobbly because I feel like the other side is her more dominant side, which is okay. So now these two go up, core on, good. So now let's think about that breathing. So when you're breathing, were you holding your breath? Yeah. So when you're breathing, you want to make sure as you inhale, it'll create a strength, and as you exhale, it'll pull it all in. So inhale goes out, exhale comes in, okay? So inhale as you lift. Exhale, pull in. Good. Did that feel better? Now other side, inhale and lift. And exhale, pull in. Once you took that breath, I noticed you didn't start that breath until after you started moving, right? Yeah. So the moment she inhaled, it was a little bit wobbly right before it, but as soon as she inhaled, it was like, it pulled out a lot easier. Okay, good. So that is the bird dog, alternating arm reach. All right, next one is a side plank reach unders. So we're gonna get into a sideways position. So again, you wanna think about your shoulder. This one is super important when we're thinking about the shoulder because side plank positions kind of put us in an awkward position. So I'm just gonna angle that so you can see her upper body more so than her lower body. So we're gonna bend the knees, okay? Knees are gonna be in line with the shoulders, so rotate this way, good. So when you think about that shoulder, you can kind of see, so look up, and you can kind of see she's kind of turned in and her arm is caved in. So now what I want you to do is push up through the shoulder. So on the elbow, turn that elbow in, go in a flexed position. So nice and strong, that's a strong base, okay? So when you clench, you're actually activating more muscles versus if you're just like this. So when you clench, you're actually firing up everything else. So then elbow will be under the shoulder. Okay, just turn this a little bit more so you can see. Yeah, that's better. Oh, my pretty girl. Okay, so you're gonna push up through the shoulder. So nice and strong, rotate. There we go. Feel that rotation? Does that feel stronger than that? Yeah, so push up and rotate under, okay? So when we're in this position, this looks good. Head is gonna be neutral, so just a forward gaze, okay? So when we get into the side planks, you're gonna lift up the hip off the ground, good. So if this, just doing a side plank, hold that up. So if this side plank is hard, just like this, just stay here, okay? So now with this hand, now you're stabilizing. So reach forward, now reach under your body. Yeah. So it's creating, let's pick up your hips slightly, and then go forward and reach under. Okay, so now I'm noticing that you're caving a little bit, so let's tuck that elbow in even more. So closer to the body. Closer to the body is better, okay? You're gonna have more stabilization. Push through here. Push right through your shoulder blade. Good, up. Now reach forward. Now reach under. Good, reach forward and reach under. Good. All right, so you can come on down. That one's a toughie because it kind of, like, again, it puts your shoulder in a really awkward position. This one versus here, the closer your elbows are to your body, the stronger it is. The more that it flares out, it really puts a lot more pressure. So that's why, especially with side planks, we want to be conscientious of how our positioning is. So when we're on that side plank, I'll show you from the back so that you can see. Okay, so side plank, okay? So most people, you see, can they see my shoulder blade? Okay, see how it caves in, okay? And now that's putting a lot of pressure through my shoulder. So once I push away from the ground, push away from the elbow, push away, you automatically see the way that my shoulder looks way different. So now I'm in a stronger position. I'm activating my lats. I'm activating my obliques. Okay, they're all pulling in, but the moment I collapse, the only thing that's going to be working is my shoulder. And I don't want that. Okay, I want to stabilize in the shoulder, but not work the shoulder. So up like this, you're pushing up through here, pushing up through your obliques. Okay, so that's the stable shoulder. All right, so next one we have hip thrusters with leg extension. on the couch. Let's go here. Okay, lay on your back. Sit here. Okay, shoulders are your upper back, where the bottom of your bra line should be is where the top of you should be on the mat, and it's gonna slide, so I'm just gonna sit on it. Okay, so feet slightly apart, knees bent, bring your heels into you a lot further, hands laced behind your head in an open position. So yeah, just like that. So when you lift off, you're gonna push straight and lift up through the glutes. And ready, and up. Squeeze. Okay, so do a couple of these if you haven't done the hip thrusters yet. So drop it down, and it moves. Your body moves as a unit, right? So lift up. So now stabilize the hips. Stay right here. And what I want you to do is lift one leg straight out without this hip dropping. Good. So you're stabilizing through the hip. Now stabilize, squeeze, and lift. Good. See how her hips are not shifting like this? They're not shifting. They're staying up, nice and strong, and lift. Good. You have a good reach. So when you're doing this too, the distance doesn't have to be far. So if you're up, you're stable, and you lift up a little bit, just a little bit off the ground, that's fine. And pull it back in. Stay where you're strong, okay? So cores engaged, hips tucked under, so it's not arched back. It's, you're more rounded out, okay? Stable, everything here moves as a unit. So when her hip breaks back down, her upper body comes too, right? So that one, remember, don't try to go for the reach per se, just go for lifting up, trying to create that stability through the hip. Okay, last one, lunges. So lunges are hard for people, and rightfully so. You need a lot of balance and stability to perform a lunge. So when we do the lunge, so do a forward lunge, so up on your feet good. So when you do a forward lunge, so chest high, hands on your hips, feet facing forward, and when you forward lunge, okay, you don't want to just drop to the ground, you want to stabilize, so stabilize that down, up, and then pull back in. And then we're going to go side lunge. So with the side lunge, you step to the side. So step to the side. Break the one knee, you're going to face forward. Bend this one leg, and this one stays straight. So you're pushing your hips back, okay? And then back up. And then reverse lunge, so step back. The same leg, yeah. And that's, see how she was wobbling? She wasn't taking her breaths. She was just trying to get into that movement. The first few will be wobbly. So when you reach back, especially the reach back ones, sit into this hip, okay? So shift. So the moment you're gonna lift that leg, it's not gonna drop, okay? So up tall through that hip. And as you go back, you want to stabilize through the feet, back, down, and come up. So when you think about that stabilization, think about the hip that's working. So the one that's working isn't the one that's stepping. The one that's stabilizing is the one that's right there, right? So then when we switch, this one lunges, this one. This is the mover, this is the stabilizer. Okay, so try that again with the breath. So inhale, step, exhale, step back. Try a forward lunge. Inhale, and exhale, push back. Now side lunge. Inhale, step in. That's okay. And then back in. And then reverse lunge. Breathe in. Good. And up. So we see lunges a lot in our exercises throughout the whole program. A big thank you to Miss Olivia for all your help with the videos. She's a gymnast, so that's why she can perform a lot of these exercises with ease. So again, everything just ties in. So tomorrow we're going to do balance. So that's a lot of, it feels a lot like stability, but it's slightly different. It pulls in from stability and then adds to that. So everything is progressive, everything's going to move forward, and you're going to see how it progresses. Right now, everything kind of blends together because maybe you're unfamiliar with any of these terms or the exercises, or everything is just new, and that's okay. Or if you're a seasoned veteran and all of these are familiar, but you didn't realize that how we break it down can make a big difference, and there's different ways that you could take out of this program. So we're almost done this week of everybody doing it together, and then next week we're going to break off where we're going to separate into the individual groups. Please refer back to the program guide, print out the calendar, and so that you know what's coming up. Okay, so bye, have a good day, and enjoy the sunny day. I think we're going to get the pool up and running. It's filled up. We just got to put the proper chemicals and stuff in so that it doesn't get algaed. All right, have a good day. See you guys tomorrow.